A wonderful morning to everyone who has joined today. From Managing family, we would like to extend our warm welcome and sincere thanks to all our customers, partners, and users who are interested in our solution. Endpoint security and management is one of the main focus area of the Manage Engine. Let me introduce myself. My name is Cyril Raja, and I'm a product specialist with Manage Engine. I take care of the endpoint management products, including Desktop Central. I'm a seasoned technical support engineer assisting customers in their implementation, consultation, and troubleshooting in case of any challenges. In today's webinar, we will focus on endpoint management solutions, which has different product portfolios under management and security. During today's session, we will be discussing Desktop Central Suite, which has management and security capabilities. Once again, welcome to Desktop Central training. Let's look on the training schedule. We are on the last week of the season 2, which is configuration and hidden tricks and about onboarding Desktop Central to the infrastructure. This is one of the module of our endpoint management and security suite. We have covered a couple of modules over the past weeks, and we are currently running on week 6 of this season. In case if you have missed any of our training schedule, you can always view them on the link that is shown in the bottom of the screen. If you are interested in the upcoming training series, please use the same link to register yourself. Now, we also offer participation certificate to all the attendees in this session. Please note that your participation certificate includes series 1, 2, 3, and 4. You can visit the below URL, which is shown on the screen. You can also check with our chat team to get the same link. Let's look on the onboarding session of Desktop Central as well as the configuration module today. And I'm quickly running through the agenda, what we are going to look in the today's training. We will have an overview of Desktop Central. Then we will have a look at the architecture behind how Desktop Central works and how effectively you can manage work from home computers. And moreover, how you can tackle the users they are returning back to the office, because the computers which is coming from an outer world, it's having a lot of open vulnerable points. We're also discussing how we are going to arrest it, and we are also going to check how you can manage a local user and how you can deploy a configuration. And we're also talking about the scenarios and the questions which I went through on my support experience in this training schedule. What is Desktop Central? Desktop Central is an endpoint management solution that ensures all your endpoints are secure and enable the user to use them effectively for business. A popular research analyst called Foster defines UEM as follows: product that provide a centralized policy engine for managing and securing employee laptops and mobile devices from a single console. In unified endpoint management, you can manage endpoints in a traditional IT management fashion that includes patch management, application management, configuration deployment, OS deployment, tools for troubleshooting, and day-to-day management activities. Similarly, endpoints can also be managed with modern management that includes geo-tracking, geo-fencing, managing store application, profile distribution to enforce restrictions, operating systems, and recovery. Windows 10 is a typical modern operating system, so you can manage both legacy as well as a modern way of computer with the help of Desktop Central here. These are the features that you can leverage which you are using Desktop Central as a unified endpoint management solution. We have patch management, which takes care of operating system and third-party application patching. We have application management, asset management, and configuration. In case if you are following our training schedule, we will talk about in this the existing schedule itself. Manage other functions include mobile device management for iOS, Android, Windows, and Chromebooks. Then we have modern management, which is for Windows and Mac machines. You can perform things like geo-tracking, complete or corporate wide. You can put them on a kiosk mode. You can distribute profiles and manage profile distribution. Then we also have OS deployment. So with the help of OS deployment, you can provision a bare metal machine or reimage a machine which is having an OS issues. So irrespective of the make and model, you can infuse the template on an image and you can deploy to the end user's machine. And we do have our security add-ons, which is a device control plus. It is our device level DLP. You can get to know what exactly the end user is copying to the thumb drives. You can do the file auditing, file shadowing. Those set of features will be available in the device control plus. And we do have our vulnerability management plus, which helps you to understand the vulnerability and mitigate on your infrastructure. And we also have browser security, which you can very well distribute the add-ons, and you can stop unwanted downloads from the browsers from the external sites. That can be controlled under the browser security add-on here. With Desktop Central, you can manage laptops, desktops, mobile phones, Chromebooks, tablets, and servers, point of sale devices, everything from a central console. Desktop Central is also awarded for the best unified endpoint management tool of 2021 as reviewed by customers and Gartner Peer Insight Customers Choice Award. We are recognized for unified endpoint management in Magic Quadrant for the second consecutive year. We are recognized and modern management. Let's look at the architecture of Desktop Central. Desktop Central is a client-server model solution and also an on-premises tool. You'll be deploying the product in any one of the supported operating system. This architecture talks about how you can manage the local area network and wide area network. When it's come to, you can manage computers from different remote locations from one console. You can connect either over the internet or using a VPN or MPLS connection. For the machines that are present in remote site, which are connected over a direct internet connection, you can use a component called Secure Gateway Server, which helps you to manage the machines on a different network. When it comes to remote locations, we have a component called Distribution Server, which is used to throttle bandwidth for the data traffic between the central server and the remote location. We will talk about in great detail in the upcoming training session. We can choose to have the machine communicate either directly to Desktop Central or either via Distribution Server on the configuration of a remote office here. You will be able to manage all your mobile devices using a Secure Gateway tool. With Desktop Central, you can manage multiple domains as well as work groups in a single console. You can deploy configuration targeting Active Directory groups or organization units. So this is the architecture of how Desktop Central in terms of a typical enterprise deployment. And Desktop Central also works on closed network. So what is closed network? A network which does not have a connectivity to internet or limited connectivity is called as closed network. Even if you have a closed network architecture, you can still use Desktop Central to manage your endpoints. Now, Desktop Central is also available as a cloud service. You can sign up the Desktop Central as a service from Zoho. And the advantage of having the SaaS-based solution here is we will be going to maintain the app servers and microservice and database service for you. And there is no need for a public IP and no need for a failover. So everything can be managed in our own cloud. And in case if you're having a private cloud which is purchased from an AWS or an Azure, you can also very well spin up a VM, or you can download the Desktop Central product in a AWS Marketplace, and you can very well install the Desktop Central clients to the end users machines and get managed from here. So what are the components that you need to run this application? There are essential as well as optional components. The Desktop Central server is a central component that you will install. It will provide the interface to the management console. The agent is an essential component. You need to be installed in the machine that you want to manage. And there is another component called Notification Server. This is an interesting component. We will talk more about this once we go into the product training. When you look on the optional component, we have a distribution server, which serves as a repository for patches, softwares, scripts that you have deployed to machine in the remote offices. We can create unique replication policies for each location as per the bandwidth requirement. Then we have a secure gateway server. This is useful if you are going to manage machines that are not part of the LAN or connecting over the internet. I will explain you in detail on the upcoming slide how we can configure a secure gateway server along with Desktop Central as well as distribution servers. We also have the failover server. In case if you want to have high availability, you can make use of this. This is separately licensed. Moreover, you can also use a language pack to list the web console in your preferred language. We support all the three major flavors. We support Windows, Macintosh, as well as Linux machines, and you can very well get it managed with the help of Desktop Central. Please find the list of supported applications which you can manage with the help of Desktop Central. You can install Desktop Central agents in the Windows client OS as well as server OS and the Mac machines and the Linux kernels like Ubuntu, Debian, Red Hat, CentOS, Fedora, Mandriva, Linux Mint, OpenSUSE, and SUSE Enterprise Linux, and even Paradice. So you can very well patch those endpoints with the help of Desktop Central too. So Desktop Central, as I told earlier, it works on a client-server model. We need to install an agent to the end user's machine to get it managed from the central console. You can install the agent with the help of a group policy, or else you can very well integrate your Active Directory to the Desktop Central console so that you can remotely push the agent from the console here. And also you can manually deploy it with the help of a script, or you can very well run it as an application to get it installed on the end user's machine. So here, Desktop Central, as well as the master server and the agent, which is having a 90 minutes refresh policy. Desktop Central can scale small as well as large networks using above 90 minutes refresh policy. What is 90 minutes refresh policy? Every agent communicate with Desktop Central server once in 90 minutes. Even if you have 90 machines or 900 or even 9,000 machines, the 90 minutes will be divided between them, and each machine will be given a specific time to talk with the server. The server has the intelligence to assign a time for each client to talk to the server. This is to avoid network congestion or bandwidth related issues. So the 90 minutes refresh policy is designed in such a way that the load of the server will split evenly. So these are the ports which we are used for Desktop Central. So the port 8020 and 8383 are the mandatory one. You can either open the HTTP or HTTPS ports. With the help of 8383, we transfer the patches or software binaries over there. And the port 8027, it's also a mandatory port, which is for the agent server communication. So with the help of this port, we can perform all the on-demand operations. I will explain you how it works on the real world in this upcoming slide. And also we have some optional ports in case if you want to use the remote control feature of Desktop Central, you need to open the port 8443 in terms of HTTPS. In case if you want to do a file transfer over the remote session, you can very well open the port 8031 to do the same. And the machines which is under to your distribution server will be getting the patches or software with the help of the port 8384. So these are the mandatory as well as optional ports here. 8383 and 8027 are the mandatory ports here with Desktop Central. So next, why Desktop Central and why configuration needed in a daily life? So Desktop Central configuration helpful for you to perform day-to-day system administrative tasks remotely and effectively, enabling the IT administrator to remediate your computer from the data breaches and vulnerabilities remotely. You can push the configurations remotely over the public internet or over intranet or over your MPLS connection. Let's see how we can deploy a Desktop Central to a large enterprise. Let us consider myself as John, and I am responsible for managing around 10,000 endpoints, and we have a global presence. Like we have our remote locations in India as well as United Kingdoms as well as in US. We have our headquarters in Dallas. So my IT team will be sitting in my headquarters and they will be managing the machines which is over the globe here. So in this pandemic, most of my workforces will be moving to home. They will be working over the public internet or they are working over the VPN here. Let us see how we can deploy Desktop Central and how we can manage both the work from home users and the users returning back to office. So as of now, so the new normal here. So my challenge is to define what are the computers, I mean, what are the users they need a new VPN connection, or the users which is having an existing VPN connection, I have to provision a policy for them. There are three types of concentrate in terms of work from home here. They are regular VPN users. So I have a separate location. They used to connect over the VPN and perform their daily BAUs. And we also have new work from home users. So they are going to use the VPN newly. So that means I need to create a VPN profile for them. So, and I also want to manage those new employees who's moving to work from home here. And I have few other employees. They don't need to connect to the VPN to access my my infrastructure resources. So all this application for those users is connected over a cloud-based application. They just need an internet connection to get it managed. So with the help of Desktop Central, we can manage even though the machines, even though connected over the internet as well as over the VPN. So we can first we will deploy Desktop Central, and then we will define how we can monitor or how we can deploy the configuration to these three-step type of users here. So let me take you to the product console so that you can deploy the product in a 20 minutes. So this is how the console looks like. So you can so you can download the product from the console. So you can sign up it as a cloud service, or you can download it and you can spin up a VM with the necessary configuration. For example, I want to manage 10,000 machines. So in this case, I'll be spinning up a VM with the system requirements. So this is the minimum system requirements. I can spin up a VM with the system specs, and I will be installing it in any one of the Windows Server OS. So once the installation is good, I'm able to get the master server console here. So this is how the console looks like. So this is how the console looks like, Desktop Central. So I have the master servers ready. Next, I have to deploy the agents to the end users machines. So here, this machine is on my data center. So it is within my MPLS. So here I want to manage the machines, which is also in the public internet here. So in this case, I will be deploying a secure gateway. So that will act like a front-facing communication for all the machines which is on the public internet. So in this architecture diagram, you could see. So I already deployed Desktop Central server in one of my machine. And now I'm going to configure a secure gateway server in my DMZ zone machine. So the machine which is on the public internet will talk to this particular secure gateway and then route it back to Desktop Central server. So let's see how we can configure this secure gateway server. So let me quickly run through a video for you so that it has the instructions how we can configure secure gateway here. So first thing, I need to define what is the public IP which I'm going to assign for this secure gateway server under the NAT settings. You can very well go to the NAT settings under the admin, NAT settings. You can give the public IP. This public IP or a public FQDN, which I'm going to put it here, is going to use by the users who is working from home. Then I will be deploying the secure gateway to one of my machine, which is on the DMZ. You can choose any of the Windows machine. Either it's a Windows 10 machine also, fine for me. Yeah, an application will be running on that particular machine. That will helpful for me to route the traffic from the outside world. So here you can download the product from here. It is just a 60 to 70 MB of an exe file. You can very well download it and you can install it in any one of a machine. So during the installation, it will ask for the desktop central server IP and what are the ports which is everything need to be filled out here. So just give the server IP of desktop and the HTTPS port. So since the machine is going to be talk from the outer world, use the HTTPS way of communication and only the to the outer world. So once you click validate, it will copy the certificate from the desktop central server to the secure gateway. And here the agent is also having the same certificate. So that will restrict unwanted machine getting entered to your infrastructure. So it will get authenticated on the edge and then it will route it back to desktop central console here. So once it's done, you can see the status of the secure gateway. Either it's a succeeded or failed, it is alive or not, everything from the secure gateway console here. So I can see the communication status as all green. So that means my secure gateway is ready as well as my desktop central server is also ready here. Okay. So here, it will list out all the OUs and it will also able to list out all the list of computer objects from here. I can select what are the computer I want to install the agent. In the next tab, I'll be getting a button to install an agent. So this is one way. Likewise, I also have another with the help of a GPU, I can very well deploy the agent. Or else in case if there are group-based machines, we also giving you an IP-based deployment script. You can execute the script if the machines are in the same network script, and you can install the agent here. So once the agents get installed, you can able to see the machine status from here. If the machines are green in color, they are turned on. If they are red in color, they are turned off. The machines are not at all having the desktop center. And in the summary view, you are able to see how many computers you are managing and what are the flavors. I think around 6 Windows on a Mac and a Linux machine. And you can also see the status of the machine here. What are the machines are turned on? What are the machines are turned off? That's how you can onboard desktop center. So the next part, so since I have 3 more locations, I will be in this office computers. If I'm trying to deploy 100 MB of a patch, all the 2000 users will try to download that 100 MB of a patch from my Dallas office over my MPLS connection. So in order to avoid it, I can create a remote office for that particular location, and I can define the machine which is on that particular London location itself. So it is just going to act like a file server for me. So there's no need for any other additional hardware requirements for the distribution server. It's just going to act like a file server. The patches and software which is going to deploy on that location, it will be on this machine. So once the patches and software replicated, the machines under to it, it will get those patches and software through intranet. I can also customize by creating a policy like at what time I want to replicate this patches and what data transfer rate I need to replicate this. In case my London office is just having a 10 Mbps MPLS connection, I don't want to use all the 10 Mbps. I just want to use only 5 Mbps, get the patch non-business hours. I can define the window here. So at this time only, the patches will get replicated to the end user's machine. So rest of the time, it will be in idle, so that you can use your entire bandwidth for your regular BA use. So likewise, you can very well create a remote office based upon the location wise. And another type of users, they are working from home, so they will be not contacting to the desktop central, like they will be not coming to office, so they will be not contacting to the distribution server. So in this case, I can create a separate remote office for them. We call them as an internet or a roaming users. So here, for those users, they will be not contacting through distribution server, so that I can ask them to directly connect to Desktop Central for getting the patches and softwares or configuration. So even though the machines which is on my LAN or in internet, we are able to serve the patches without any issues. So here we also have another interesting feature called IP scopes. So this will helpful for me to understand the machine movement from one location to other location. And also we are able to understand what are the machines which is in my office, what are the machines which is outside the office. So that means I can, so whatever the remote office I have created, I can define the IP scopes for that particular location. So for example, if an employee moves from one location to other location, we are with depends upon the IP scope assigned here, Desktop Central understood the movement, and it will map up to the nearest distribution server. And likewise, in case if a machine is not part of this IP scope, I can also ask Desktop Central to serve the patches over the public internet or a public IP via secure gateway. So even though the machine moved outside the office, we are able to connect them and you can deploy the patches from here. And we also have an SOM policy, scope of management policy, we call it. So in case if a computer which is not contacted for a last 30 days, you can also get an alert, or else you can very well ask Desktop Central to remove it from the management console, so it free up the license for it. Likewise, if a new computer added to your Active Directory, we can initiate a sync on a daily basis to understand if any new computer object added to a particular domain, we are able to automatically to the end users machines. Likewise, in case there's no need for I have to monitor the agent deployment on around the clock, we can tell Desktop agent installation for every 2 hours of interval for the next 2 or 3 days. So in case if the users are connected into the we are able to trigger the agent installation automatically to those end users machine, and then it will come to the management console. That's how you onboard the machine with help of Desktop Central. So in part, I will be running through how you will going to like configure a secure for the users who are working from home. So here in case if you are deploying Desktop Central newly to your infrastructure already configured, by default has the text secure gateway. So the agent has the intelligence to communicate either with the private IP or a machine flat name or the public IP or a public FQDN. If any one way of a communication fails, the next gator. So for the secure gateway already configured infrastructure, that will be no issues. You are just going to Fusion server to the direct communication, which I just showed before. Next, in case if I'm configuring secure gateway newly to an infrastructure. So in this case, the machine which is the user who is like internet, they will be not having a public. I can download the update server details.bat. So in case if you need the BAT, they will give it to you. So you can download the BAT and you can execute this BAT on each and every machine, so that in the next refresh cycle, it will connect it over a public IP or a public FQDN here. So I will run through a quick video here. So how you can execute a BAT. So that from this URL, you can get this URL from the chatting. They can download the BAT. So this is for the users who is working from home and without a secure gateway. Now I configure the secure gateway. Now I have the public IP with me. Now I'm just running this BAT on all the end users machine who is working from home. So here, as of now, this machine is not contacting the private FQDN of my machine here. So here in the BAT, I'm just going to replace it with the new one, that is my public FQDN. So instead of this, is replacing with my FQDN that is demo, that is going to be my public FQDN. So I'm just modifying it. And I can also modify. So what is the last access time which I need to, which I already contacted. So it is just append the values on the registry on the desktop central agent. So once it's done, just run this BAT file on the end user's machine. So this will update the old existing details. Instead of a private IP, it will update with the public IP of Desktop Central. So it will just update to demo.desktopcentral as you seeing in the screen here. And now the agent will start communicating to the Desktop Central server. So that's how you can update, you can download the BAT and you can modify with your FQDN of that particular secure gateway server, and you can run it to the end user's machine. And how, I mean, now the situations are back to normal, coming back to normal. So most of the workplaces, they are opening up the office for the employees. They will start coming to office either weekly or a bi-weekly once to the home. So in this case, if the users are coming back to office, so having a lot of vulnerabilities, because let us consider I'm not having any management tool on that particular end user's machine. So and they are coming back to office after 6 or 8 months. So in this case, how we can arrest the vulnerabilities in my edge itself, and how we can protect the system with protect the system like without the vulnerabilities which is getting affected to my infrastructure. So we also have an active access control that will help us to block the machine on my edge itself. So once the machines are get patched, it will automatically step into the Desktop Central console to get it contact. And we also have an application control that will help you to define what baseline of application need to be installed. So features, I believe it, if you're following our training schedule, these two topics are already covered on the previous training sessions itself. Now I will cover how we can manage the USBs of that end user's computer, how you can block an external hard drive plugging into that end user's computer in the slide. And also you can deploy the latest patches, and you can also restrict the administrator rights with the help of the product in terms of endpoint lockdown here. And next, so we'll talk about the USB device management. So a little in detail. So I'm going to create a configuration in Desktop Central. So it's going to block all the USBs in my computer, and only the manager is going to use those USB devices on their computer. And even though they are using the USB device, it should be an encrypted one. So let me take you to the Desktop Central console. So here in Desktop Central, we have around 32 predefined configurations. So these configurations are, it will completely replace. So you can deploy this configuration anytime. So even though the users are working from home, they are not contacting to your Active Directory. If you want to deploy a startup script, or if you want to deploy any new wallpaper or certificate on the end user's machines, you can very well use this configuration. As you know, in a Windows machine, you can very well deploy an user-based configuration as well as a computer-based configuration. If you're deploying a user-based computer to other computer, Desktop Central automatically deploy this configuration on the system login or the users during the startup. If I'm deploying any configuration to a specific computer, it will deploy that particular configuration to that computer box alone. So this configuration is limited for that particular computer box. So So now I'm going to deploy a configure me to block the USB drives. So I can name, so I can define what are the things which I want to block it. So here you can block or unblock the USB drives or an external devices. Under the portable devices, I can very well block the mobile phones too. Therefore, some people might be connected to the mobile devices on their laptop and they use for the data transfer. You can very well do it. So we are doing the port level blockage. So no issue, and it's affecting the rest of the devices here. So whatever the devices which you get blocked, so here externals or external hard disk or the mobile devices will get blocked here. The devices you can very well exclude based upon the device instance ID or a vendor-based instance ID. For example, you only want to use HP make and model pen drives in your infrastructure. So rest of the things you want to get it blocked, you can also very well do it from here. Or else here, as per my use case, I want to use the manager only the encrypted devices here. So I'm going to add this exception. So even though they are using an USB thumb drive, if it is encrypted, then only it connect to my computer. So I just added that particular exclusion. Then I am modifying the means I'm targeting to my specific entire location or an entire domain. I can target it here. So these are the top level targets. The top level targets are a domain. Then, so here it will deploy this configuration to all the machines in my remote locations. And here I'm going to exclude a specific custom group here. So here I have a separate here. So whatever the machines which is part of this manager's custom group, it will configuration. So you can create a custom group within Desktop Center. You are having two types of custom group, static or a dynamic. Static, I can very well add the list of that users. I can create a configuration. I can create a custom group. So I can create a custom group under the admin custom group. So I can create a new custom group here. So you can take unique group. So the static unique group is I can add the same computer to a number of static groups. Creating a static unique group, the same computer cannot be added to a different static unique group here. So in case if it's a dynamic, I can computers which is running on a specific operating system. Like now I'm creating what are the computers which is running on the Windows 10, a dynamic group for it. So in future, whatever the computers which is having a desktop central agent, and if it falls in the and create a dynamic or a custom group, you can very well map a target for either a dynamic or a custom group here with the help of Desktop Center. Once you click deploy or deploy immediately, get deployed on the end user's machine. So the difference between deploy and deploy immediately. If you click deploy, this configuration will get reflected or deployed on the end user's machine on the next refresh cycle, that is 90 minutes. If we click deploy immediately, this configuration takes place on the end user's machine on a very next second. So we have talked about the port 8027, which is responsible for all the on-demand configuration like this. So once you click deploy immediately, the 8027 port just calls the machine which is on the other end, and then once the calling is done, it will connect over the Desktop Central with the help of the port 8383, and then it will got the necessary instructions in the form of an XML file. Then the agent interpreted and it will get deployed on the end user's machine. So once the configuration get deployed, you can see the status of the configuration from this UI itself. Either it's in progress or succeeded or failed, everything can be visible in the screen. So you can see how many computers are succeeded, how many computers are failed, or how many computers are ready to deploy. You can see the execution status here. In case of an error code, it will also return with an. So likewise, you can deploy an USB configuration with help of Desktop Central. So next, how you can manage the local users. So here, most of the from home, I will be not going to actively contact to my Active Directory, so that in case if I want to do the user administration of that particular endpoint, so I will be not able to change a password for a domain user. So in this case, if use most of the company, it might be you can use a local user as of now, so they have some customization on it. So if you're having a local user management, we have an option to add a user from the desktop central. You can change the password of that particular existing user, or in case if you want to remove a user on that particular computer, you can do it. Or in case if you want to disable an existing user, you can very well do it with the help of desktop center. Likewise, in case if you want to add those users to your specific group, you can very well add it. You can also have a group management option in desktop center. And in case if you want to deploy a certificate, that can be also done. And we also have a script repository. So you can write your own script and you can add it and you can deploy it with the help of the product. So that's how you can manage a local user with the help of desktop center. Next part, how I can explain configuration. Like instead of deploying configuration one by one, I can combine 4 or 5 configuration and create it as a single collection. So here I can create a user collection or a company. I can add what are the configuration I can deploy it. So all this configuration can be created as a single job, then it will get it deployed on the end user's machine. So here I already created a collection for a reference. So here in this collection, I'm going to create a specific firewall rule, and I'm going to deploy the script, and I'm going to deploy the script, and I'm going to deploy a security policy, and also I'm going to remove the default administrated user. So here, whenever the desktop central agent, which is installed on the end user's machine, all this configuration, 3 configuration will get deployed automatically on the end user's machine. So likewise, you can tell desktop central. So whenever you can very well deploy it to that particular group of computers for this list of collection automatically whenever there is a need. So next, how we can configure a template to secure desktops. So in Desktop Central, we have few predefined templates. So these predefined templates are created by our development team, depends upon the request we got it from our end customers on a daily basis. We have around 70 predefined templates, and also whatever the configurations you are creating with Desktop Central, it will create a template for me. So you can add those template. Yeah. So in case if you have integrated with our Service Desk Plus, that is our ITSM tool, you can publish these templates to those Service Desk Plus. So in case if you are creating a configuration for local user creation on that particular in Desktop Central, and you are advertising to the Service Desk Plus tool, and in case if an end user is raising a ticket to create a new user on his machine, you can use the same template on the Service Desk Plus to address the issue here. So likewise, you can create your template. So whatever the configurations you are creating, it will create a template for me. You can reuse this template a number of times. You can deploy it again without a target or with failed targets. For example, you are deploying this configuration to 1,000 machines. Out of 1,000 machines, 200 got failed. You wanted to target it to 200 failed machines. You can use this option. So Desktop Central create a duplicate configuration with this 200 failed targets and get it deployed on the end user's machine. And next part, so we will quickly run through the scenarios and solutions. We completely rely on Desktop Central for system management, and we cannot afford downtime. What should we do? Downtime is a major threat for any organization. In the Desktop Central server, we have a failover in case if you went down or not reachable, the agent will talk to the secondary server automatically and deploy the configurations. the primary server and secondary server can be deployed in a different location, and that can be shared by an MS SQL database as well as your patch stores as well as software stores, or get it shared from here. The next scenario, if the agent is not accessible, can the computer be configured to go unmanaged and free the license? Yes, we have a scope of management policy in Desktop Central. As I told earlier, you can configure a scope of management policy from the UI. So you can tell Desktop Central in case if a machine is not contacted for 30 days, for the past 30 days, you can ask Desktop Central to alert you, or else you can delete it from your management console from here. The next part, go unmanaged quite often. Is there a way to fix it? In order to have this, mostly the machine may be unmanaged because they have stopped the agent services, or they uninstall the Desktop Central agent from their computer. In order to stop it, we have an option in the admin tab. Under the agent settings, you have an option to restrict the end users to disabling. You can disable to uninstall it from the control panel, or else you can enable this option to restrict stopping the agent services. So this is a global settings. So if you enable here, so the end user will not able to stop the servers, or they will not able to uninstall the agent from the command prompt. So it is painful to redeploy all the configuration each time we hire a new employee or add a computer to our network. Is there a way out? Yes, you can deploy a configuration. We have created a collection, right? So in case if I want to deploy this collection to a new employee, which is added to my organization. So yes, we can very well do it. If I enable this configuration settings, you can very well Desktop Central automatically understood this is a new machine, so I need to deploy this configuration. Or else, if you're deploying this collection or a configuration to a specific custom group which is created with Desktop Central, so once the new machine got the Desktop Central agent, if you add that computer to that particular custom group, Desktop Central automatically understood it's a new machine, and it will deploy the configuration which is targeted previously. So without modifying an existing configuration, you can achieve it automatically by just simply adding the computer to the existing created custom group. And the next scenario, I want Desktop Central to use the available system resources effectively for improved performance. Well, in order to optimize Desktop Central server, you have an option to optimize the DB. It will be under the admin, DB optimization. Here you can decide on the memory consumption, how many percentage do you want to use your system to use this handle, especially in case if you're having multiple application which is installed on one server, you can define how much RAM it need to be allocated for Desktop Center to get it used. So depends upon that, and then it will get perform the operations. In case if you're dedicatedly assigning a machine for Desktop Center, you can increase the hardware consumption, it will give you a good performance. So next part, so the business data breach and cyber attacks of ESM, can Desktop Central configuration be of some help? So in Desktop Central, we have an option called script repository. In case if you find out any vulnerability which is open on the internet, if there is no patch available, but you can mitigate it by installing a script or modifying a registry value, you can very well reach to us. We will help you to create a script. So you can add those scripts on the repository here. You can add the script in the script repository, or else you can write your own script. So these are the script formats which are supported by Desktop Central. We support both PowerShell or a VB or a shell or a Python script. So that can be, and you can add the same, and that script can be deployed from the Desktop Central, even to a Windows machine or a Mac machine or a you can costly. In case if there is any dependency file needed, you can browse for the dependency file, and you can ask Desktop Central to deploy this on during every startup, or during every 90 minutes, or during every startup until, for example, you want to deploy this script in startup on the next 30 days to understood if there is any new traces of any unwanted signatures. So you can run the script on every next 30 days on during every startup. So on the 31st day, it will automatically kill the task. And you can deploy the same to all the machines by targeting here. What are the machine if you want? You can target it to a specific location or a group. In case if you see if some of the configuration is failing during the first try, you can also very well increase the retry. So that will increase the probability of getting high success rate here. So I need to keep track on asset data even when I'm away from desk. Is this possible? Yes, we have we have our own mobile app, which is already available in Play Stores as well as in Apple Store. So you can very well download the app. You just need to add the server name and the port which is used for it. So even though you are not in your desk, you can monitor what is the patch status and what is the inventory status of your machine. And you can also take a remote control with the help of the remote control tool here. I want to restrict a technician to only access asset data. How can I do that? Desktop Central, everything can be controlled based on a role here. So you can go for a user administration. You can create a role. You can create a role. So in case here, he is an asset admin. So here I'm going to define a role. He only going to use inventory of Desktop Central. Rest of things he will be not getting the access. So I'm just creating the user. So I'm creating the role, first of all, for the asset admin. And again, I am mapped it to that existing user or a new user, asset admin. So I can also define what location he just need to see the assets. You can map a remote office, or you can will define it. Will add any group, and you can add this group here. So this tech the assets, either it's 100 or 200 computers, whatever added for him. To ensure my user recognize and trust the application, how do I achieve it? So in Desktop Central, so we have an option to rebrand it. So it would be suspicious if I'm seeing something new on my agent tray icon here. So it would be suspicious. So in this case, I can rebrand it by giving your own company logo. So the agent will be replaced with your own company logo, and moreover, the console, the web console, everything will be changed with your company logo. And moreover, the reports which you are exporting from Desktop Central, that can be also rebranded. It will come up with your company logo here. So we also have an option to rebrand it. Next, we'll be just running through the questions we have today. So does Desktop Central allow you to block USB devices for particular IP range? Yes, we have an option to deploy any configuration to block the thumb drives based on IP range. For example, I'm taking the existing USB configuration, I'm modifying the same. So I'm going to block the USB drives, and I'm going to target to a specific IP range of address. I can give the start rate and end range. So once you click deploy, this configuration will get deployed on that specific IP range of machines here. And next, can website security certificates can be deployed to the workstation and to multiple browsers? Yes, we also have an option for browser management here. You can deploy the certificates from the console here. And also, in case if you want to deploy to a user store or a computer store, you can also deploy the certificate to those stores too with the help of Desktop Central. Some keyboards and monitors have embedded USB ports. Will those ports also be blocked despite having the keyboard and mouse option excluded from the block? So here, so Desktop Central understood the device instance ID from the device manager. So it will not block your keyboard. They will be termed as individual devices for us. We can get the device instance ID. And if you are unable to find a device ID, you can use it by on a device manager. So in case if it is something embedded with your desktop or your keyboard, we are able to block it with the help of Desktop Central with a specific device instance ID. Can the 90 minutes refresh policy be changed? So the 90 minutes refresh policy is designed bandwidth and reduce the network performance issue. So as of now, we are not having an option to change it because this is going to be the key role player for managing the bigger networks, and it will also help you to optimize the server performance. However, if you want to deploy a configuration and immediate on the end user's machine, you can use a deploy immediately option in Desktop Central. So the notification server will take care of this, all the on-demand action. So how GDPR compliant is Desktop Central? So we have a team dedicatedly working for the GDPR, and we have come up with a feature where we have an option to define an administrator can mask the personal identification from here. The values under the export settings. So even during the if you are exporting a report, it will ask you want to mask the personal values or you want to unmask it, or in case by default you want to unmask all the values and all the computer name or a username, you can also define it, or you can very well mask the personal information on the whole. So whenever I'm exporting the report, your personal information will be hashed out. Next, if you configure a set of restriction in a collection wizard but don't select a web browser, does the restriction apply to the default web browser or all browser? So it will apply only to the default web browser in case if you're not having any of the browsers on it. How secure is my Desktop Central? So going to the product, you have a separate score for your security. So you have an option to get to know how much compliance or how much secure your Desktop Central. You can increase the security by enabling the HTTP login from here. That will increase your security score. And you can also increase the security score by importing a third-party certificate here. So by default, we use the self-sign, management self-sign certificate for the agent server communication. You can import in a certificate from any third parties. And you can also increase the security by setting up the complex policy. We will give you what are the things which will help you to secure the Desktop Central server here. So the next part, is there a way to optimize the power consumption level in my network? Yes, with the help of Desktop Central configuration, you can create a power schema, a new power schema, or delete an existing power schema under the power management. So you can create your own, or you can modify the existing schema, or you can delete it, and you can very well deploy it to the end user's machine. What happens to the configuration if any of the target computers are down? So in this case, we have an option to do a retry of each and every configuration. For example, I'm deploying this configuration. So if the computer is failed or if you're not reachable on the first attempt, I can increase the retry counts. So as per my need, for example, I'm doing this retry as 6 times. So for the first 3 times, just do the redeployment or just to redeploy this configuration during the system startup. And also another 3 allocated for the refresh cycle. In case if the computer is turned off and it is turning on back again 90 minutes, it will again retry this configuration and it will get deployed on the end user's machine, which will give you the high success rate here. Next, my user had deleted the created shortcut tab. Should I redeploy this configuration? There's no need to redeploy this configuration. Desktop Central also have an option to deploy the configuration on every startup. So if I enable this option, Desktop Central checks if this configuration is already present or not. If it is not present, it will try to redeploy the configuration automatically without creating another new configuration for it, even if they deleted it by mistake. If you enable this option, it will automatically check for it. If the configuration is not present, it will automatically get it deployed on the end user's machine. If a workstation is not in domain, can we manage workstations in workgroups? Yes. With the help of Desktop Central, you can manage multiple machines and multiple workgroups. So this tool is not going to depend on any directory services. So you can manage multiple workgroups as well as domains with the help of Desktop Central in a single console. So we are at the end of this training session. So thank you very much for joining and taking your valuable time and patience in listening to my training session. I hope this was useful. If you like to have a personalized demo, you can also get in touch with our chat team. They will schedule a personalized demo to understand your infrastructure need, and we will also give you a free demo as well as free proof of concept. We will help you to onboard the machine, and uh, we will help you to implement the product smoothly to your infrastructure. And thank you for joining this training session today. You all have a great day. Bye-bye.